Well, folks, it's another week, and it's time for another Ben After Dark. It was a really bad week to be an Islamist terrorist group in Lebanon or a drug dealer in the 1990s, because it appears pagers have become the newest weapon of the Jewish Space Laser Society. That is correct, pagers. And no, we aren't using a time machine.
What year is it?
On Tuesday, a joint effort between Mossad and the Israeli army exploded the militant group's pagers, or as our young employees call them, what are you even talking about? I never even seen one of those before. What does it do? Thousands of Hezbollah terrorists were wounded, dozens were killed. The entire communications infrastructure of Hezbollah was simultaneously blown up. Amazeballs, literally, because you know where these guys kept their pagers. That is correct, like most dudes, in their front pockets. So this means that Israel literally took all the balls out of Hezbollah. The group had to rename itself, Hezbollah. From the kidney to the knee, Hezbollah will be balls free.
I can't help but notice, Pete, your balls are a little misshapen.
Now, there are those who say we shouldn't laugh at terrorists getting their balls blown off by small 1990s devices they carry around to coordinate attacks on civilian men, women, and children in the single most targeted anti-terrorism strike in human history. I say to those people, off you humorless tool bags. We're not laughing at the costs of war. War is always terrible. And the casualties of the current conflict between Israel and Hezbollah are on Hezbollah. All of that is serious. We're laughing because Hezbollah, an Iranian terror entity that has ruined Lebanon and killed hundreds of American and Israeli soldiers, just turned thousands of its own terrorists into eunuchs who won't be able to do anything with their 72 virgins even if they get them. That's basically ow my balls, but with terrorists. It's 24, but where Jack Bauer is played by Johnny Knoxville. It would take a heart of stone not to laugh. And as the Bible says in Psalm 58, the righteous will be glad when they are avenged, when they bathe their feet in the blood of the wicked. They easily could have added, blow up their balls as well. But wait, it gets better. After Israel blew up all the beepers in Lebanon, remember beepers handed out only to Hezbollah terrorists by Hezbollah terrorists, the Hezbollah terrorists still needed to resort to their communications backups. So they went back to using walkie-talkies, like you would if you were 7 years old, or a terrorist now missing his penis. There was only one problem. The crafty Jews had also planted bombs in the walkie-talkies, which blew up. Again. Wiley al-Coyote blew up. Again. If I were in Hezbollah, I might leave my Tamagotchi at home. So, how did this happen? Well, back in July of this year, Hezbollah announced they'd pivoted from cell phones to pagers and couriers to counter Israel's high-tech ability to spy on them. But what they didn't factor into the equation is something you'd know if you'd ever visited a shopping mall in 1996. No one knows pagers better than Israelis. The Israelis set up a shell company that sold beepers, among other items, like a year and a half ago. They then got a contract with Hezbollah to sell them the beepers. They shipped them the beepers, rigged Acme style with explosives. Then they also rigged and apparently sold the walkie-talkies as well. This means that in a stroke of Jewish financial legerdemain, Hezbollah literally paid the Jews to provide their involuntary gender transitions. That is indeed one way of joining Trans for Palestine. Now, how deep did this plot actually go? Well, let's meet the creator of the pager in the first place. Yes, that's Al Gross, inventor of the pager. He was born in Toronto, Canada in 1918, to Romanian Jewish immigrant parents. Indeed, the nefarious Jews have had this plot brewing since before World War I. They play the long game. How hard was it for Hezbollah agents to buy the beepers and the walkie-talkies? Well, Israel probably just used this delightful salesperson.
טוב, כמו שאתם יודעים, עכשיו במגפון יש לנו המון מבצעים לקיץ, אז זה מבצע שלא תרצו לפספס. כל המגנים שלנו.
Although, to be fair, for Hezbollah, a goat might have served the same purpose.
Naughty.
Now Hezbollah has been left searching for options on how to communicate. They could theoretically try carrier pigeons, but as we all know, birds aren't real, so Israel will hack those as well. This really leaves only one option for the terrorists. Finally, Israel was able to prove what I've been saying for years. Guns don't kill people. Tiny beepers rigged with explosives do. Meanwhile, the Hezbollah and Hamas lovers from the left, or the United Nations, they want to again blame Israel. They want to paint them as a thoughtless and barbaric group of warmongers, despite the fact that Israel was able to pinpoint an attack to a device so small, we used to have to make up codes like 143 in order to fit I love you on the screen. You don't get any more targeted than that, you cretins. I somehow get the feeling that people who object when Israel performs the most targeted urban anti-terror operation in history in Gaza, and then also objects when Israel blows up the head of Hamas without hurting any civilians, and then also gets mad when Israel enacts the most targeted mass anti-terror strike in history in Lebanon, all while saying nothing about Hamas and Hezbollah. I don't know, I just get the feeling they don't like Israel, and they don't want to defend itself.
Come on and make my day, Jew.
Maybe it's just me. Meanwhile, I'm looking forward to round 3. I do have a bit of inside information. All I can say is, if you hear some ticking, you better walk, man. Kamala Harris is a disaster on many fronts, including the economic front. We are looking at a proposed top income tax rate of nearly 40% under Kamala Harris, 7% hike in corporate taxes, and a capital gains tax on unrealized gains. Unrealized gains, unconstitutional, totally crazy, destroys American business. But wait, there's more. They want to add almost $2 trillion to our already staggering $2 trillion deficit. It's like the end of Thelma and Louise with these folks, just right over the cliff. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ben, how can I protect my hard-earned money? Well, my friends, this is where our trusted sponsors at Birch Gold Group come in. Birch Gold can help you convert your existing IRA or 401k into a gold IRA. That is correct, a tax-sheltered, inflation-resistant golden ticket to financial security. And here's the kicker. You don't pay a penny out of pocket for the conversion. Look, I've been working with Birch Gold for years. They are the real deal. You can call them up. You can ask them all your questions, get all the information. Here's what you need to do. Text the word Ben to 989898. We get a free info kit on gold, no strings attached. And listen up because this is really important. This is indeed the final month for those of you who want to get your hands on a limited edition 24-karat gold-plated truth bomb with qualifying purchases. Text Ben to 989898. Claim your eligibility before September 30th. In a time of high taxes and high inflation, protect your savings with gold from Birch Gold. Text Ben to the number 989898 for your free info kit today. Meanwhile, this week it did start off with another type of bang, and that bang probably sampled a much more popular bang from the 80s, because Sean Diddy Combs was arrested in New York City on a litany of charges ranging from sex trafficking to arson to bribery and obstruction of justice. And with the 14-page indictment now available to peruse, I took a quick glance at it. And because I now know what a freak-off is, you must. I always thought a freak-off was when a member of the furry community met an adult man with a diaper fetish. It's alleged that Sean P. McDiddy Combs would hold sex performances in his house. He dubbed these freak-offs, where he drugged and coerced victims to perform sexual acts on male prostitutes. Or, as Bill Clinton likes to call it, Thursdays. The indictment goes on to say that his employees would arrange travel, book hotel rooms, and stock the closets full of drugs, baby oil, lubricant, and extra linens. Then let Diddy go wild, like a desperate 39-year-old Katy Perry at the VMAs. Sorry, Legolas. Apparently, Diddy's stash of baby oil single-handedly kept Costco in business. Babies all over the world have been going without their oil for literally years at this point.
He's sucked all of the oil out.
Diddy would also video the festivities, sometimes without the knowledge of the participants, so he could later extort control over them with the videotape. He was like the Jeffrey Epstein of rap, or as we call it in the rap community, a rapper. This, in addition to finding 3 AR-15s with the serial numbers scratched off, has left Combs in a position similar to the title of his debut album, No Way Out. After pleading not guilty, Combs was denied bail, not once but twice, despite proposing a $50 million bond and promising he would avoid any women while awaiting trial. This is because he could flee the country before his trial date, try to bribe and threaten his victims, or get in the studio and attempt to make more bad music. Also, the judge didn't take seriously his claims that he would avoid women, given what's in the indictments. It's all a bit surprising. Given the allegations, it sounds like Diddy might enjoy a spot of jail time. He has been practicing dropping the soap for decades. I don't know if there's any room left in the indictment, Your Honor, but may I please submit to the jury this Godzilla song he did with Jimmy Page that samples Kashmir. That right there is not just a crime, it's a crime against humanity. Now, apparently pretty much everyone knew about Sean Combs' proclivities. South Park even made a joke about it.
Damn it, what didn't Diddy do?
But for years, anyone who could have made allegations about Combs went missing, just like Ellen Page. This is all obviously just the start of what will be a very long, drawn-out, and juicy court case. I, for one, am very interested to see who else knew about Diddy's personal habits. Well, actually, we do know that Hillary didn't know and wasn't involved in any of the freak-offs. If she had been, Combs would have already committed suicide. Well, it's a risky world out there, but why not make that risk a little bit more fun by betting with BetOnline? Beyond traditional sports, BetOnline gives you the option to bet on political events like the outcome of the presidential election. That's a risky bet right now. If you're a diehard sports fan, BetOnline makes sports betting more accessible and convenient than ever before. Now that football season has begun, BetOnline is the best place to be. Last night, producer Jake bet on the Jets and he won big. I know, somebody actually bet on the Jets and won. It's amazing. With just a few clicks, you can place bets on your favorite teams or events from the comfort of your own home. BetOnline prides themselves on their higher-than-average betting limits of up to $25,000. You can increase your wagering amounts by contacting their player services desk by phone or email. So while you're watching your favorite team or the news on upcoming elections, why not spice things up with a friendly wager over at BetOnline? Go to betonline.ag to place your bets today. Use promo code BEN for a 50% sign-up bonus of up to $250. That's betonline.ag. Use promo code BEN. BetOnline, the options are endless. You want to spice up the football this weekend? Been some bad games, but they get a little more fun when you head on over to betonline.ag. Place your bets today. Use promo code BEN. Get 50% sign-up bonus of up to $250. In addition to lube in bulk, you know what else Costco sells that probably has maybe some bodily fluids in it? Michelle Obama's newest elitist grift. It's a healthy soda called Plezzy Fizz. By now, we should realize the socialist-Obama duo can talk all they want about building a stronger middle class and how they're just typical hard-working Americans and how their parents told them that you don't need too much. But if you hand them a brand sponsorship or a Netflix deal, these two become Thurston Howell III and Lovey quicker than they could smother Bernie Sanders with a pillow.
Well, you know, darling, there's only one honest way to influence anybody.
You're right. Bribery.
National parks? At least make an exciting TV show. What is next? Our great paint drying? Well, shoppers in Northern California were surprised to see the former First Lady / opportunist in Livermore, California, not stumping for the Democratic nominee, though honestly, Buy My Soda is a better platform than anything we've currently heard from Kamala Harris.
Soda!
Michelle was at a Costco, hawking this crap scam of a beverage like she was handing out free turkey sausage samples on a Sunday afternoon. Don't believe me? Check out this TikTok video taken by a customer. Well, Michelle Obama, yeah, she's here today. She's standing somewhere between the rotisserie chicken and the 12-can special of Kirkland brand peanut butter. And, of course, the Kirkland pants.
This is not like a regular piano.
That was some good music right there. The next time Democrats make fun of Mike Lindell, remember, this is basically my pillow for juice. On the company's website, where they promise or threaten more products down the road, Michelle wrote, "We're starting with a beverage because we know how much concern parents and pediatricians have about sugary drinks. Madam, as a concerned parent, may I remind you that both your husband and your children smoke." But this is all not super shocking. We've now entered an era where the political stage is no longer headlined by policy or plans for international relations. It's like vibes and pop culture collabs and that Kool-Aid taste without the calories. Oh, yeah. Hilariously, while Plezzy doesn't include any added sugar, the juice is basically just made from concentrate, which has less nutritional value than actual fruit juice.
It tastes amazing. What's in it? Who cares? How many calories? Shut up.
So once again, we have an Obama lying, except this time it's about fruit, not a vegetable. Well, folks, this has been another terrifying episode of Ben After Dark. We'll be back here to recap next week.